Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out and reviewing the Conceal the Deal Full Coverage Concealer from Lawless. Now these retail for $26 US and you can find them in 20 different shades. I grabbed the shade Ballet and Blushed Honey to try out today. I'm going to swatch them for you guys so that way you get a better idea of what each shade looks like on my complexion in case you use me for reference. Now this is a lightweight medium to full coverage concealer with a soft focus matte finish. It's supposed to be very long wearing and it's supposed to feel very, very light and comfortable on the skin. As far as how to use it, you apply it straight onto the skin with the doe foot applicator and then you just blend it out with either your fingers, a brush, or a sponge. Now, per usual, I am going to be testing this concealer out with a color corrector placed underneath it and without it, just to see what kind of coverage we are able to achieve with and without. As far as what corrector I'm going to be using for today, it is going to be my Smashbox and Becca corrector, under eye brightening corrector in the shade medium. Since this concealer does have a matte finish, I find that this corrector wears really, really well underneath my matte concealers. Now, before getting started, I'm going to swatch them onto the back of my hand so that you guys can get a better idea of what these two shades look like. Here are the shades, this one being Ballet and this one being Blushed Honey. And here they are up close. Now I'm going to wait for these to set to see if they do deepen a little bit. Sometimes, especially with matte concealers, they do tend to dry down to a little bit of a deeper shade. So while I wait, I'm going to color correct the right side. I'm not going to color correct the left side. I'm going to apply some foundation and I will be right back. All right, I am back. Foundation is on. We are ready over here with the color corrector. Let's apply some of this concealer. This is what the shades now look like. You see what I mean? They're a bit deeper than when I first swatched them. Here they are up close. Now, the light one, Ballet, is a little too light in my opinion, and Blushed Honey is a little too deep. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is mix them. So I'm gonna do half and half. Let me see what that looks like. So this is both of them combined. I think I'm gonna do both. I am so hot in this room. I need to take this shirt off. My goodness. So we're gonna start over here on the right. Like I said, we're doing half and half, and we're gonna see what kind of coverage we get with just the one layer. So I'm gonna do a very thin layer of concealer to start off with. So this is the Blushed Honey shade, and this is Ballet. So just like a dab of each is what I did. I'm going to blend it out with my Soft Blend Concealer Brush from Sigma Beauty. This is the F64. Just blending it out right here. So that is one layer. It looks pretty concealed. I don't necessarily love how it's blending out though. When it comes to concealers though, you guys know I'm super, super critical. So this might actually look great to some of you, but to me, I'm like, I don't know if I love how it's sitting on the skin. It's not blending out as much as I would like it to. So I'm just gonna wait for it to kind of settle a little bit and then come back to it. But for now, let's move on to the left side. So again, I'm gonna do half and half on this side. And then blending it out the same way. So there it is, one layer of concealer. You know, it provides quite a bit of coverage, but not enough in my opinion. So I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit more, build it up a little tiny bit. So this is Blushed Honey right there, and the lighter shade Ballet right there. Just a tiny bit more. I don't want to overdo it. I'm concentrating most of the additional product right here along the inner corner. So there's the right side, there is the left side. This side looks a bit more highlighted than this side. I'm kind of tempted to build it up a little bit just right here. So I'm going to go back a little tiny bit with Blushed Honey and a tiny bit of the Ballet shade. And I'm going to just blend it out down here. I'm still on the fence as far as whether or not I should set it. You guys know I absolutely hate when concealers look excessively dewy, excessively radiant underneath the eyes for me, because I feel like it definitely accentuates the hollows underneath my eyes, and I'm not trying to do that. This is supposed to settle or set as a soft matte finish, so I'm gonna wait for that to occur, you know, and then we'll see whether or not I'll need to set it. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so that you can get a good look underneath the eye area after initial application. All right, so here's the under eye area up close and personal. I do see that it is starting to settle just a little bit. See that? So I am gonna set it, but very lightly. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my Oma Beauty Trip and Smooth setting powder. This one is in the shade Light. I'm gonna grab that with my Soft Blend number 50 brush from Sigma Beauty. It just fits perfectly underneath the eye. And I am setting it very, very lightly. I don't want to go too heavy-handed with this at all. All right, so let me bring you guys back in one more time so that you can see what this looks like now that it is set. All right, I think I lost a little bit of coverage after setting it over here, but look at the color corrected side. It looks pretty good. All right, so now I just need to finish the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Makeup is done for the day. Let us continue on with it. It is currently 11:36 in the morning. I do plan on wearing this all day long. And of course, I'll be back halfway through the day in order to show you guys some more close-ups to see how the concealer's holding up. And it'll all be done under natural lighting. So I will see you all back here in a few hours for my midday check-in. All right, I am back for a quick midday check-in. It is currently 4:33, which means that I've had the concealer on now for 5 hours. It's a bit gloomy, rainy, misty. I love it. The only thing is that we're not getting the same lighting that we usually get for midday check-ins. Anyway, let's take a look under the eyes. So this is the current situation. Pretty dry. And I'm pretty sure it's worn off of both sides, I want to say. More so the left side than the right side, but remember, we didn't really start with the best level of coverage. Yeah, it looks a little bit worn, a little bit dry, and kind of like it's separating. I mean, you can see it right here. There are just a few areas that look like they've moved around a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend those out. I always just go back in with a brush that I used that morning to blend out my concealer and just lightly, very lightly blend it out that way. That way I'm not adding a ton of product, but I also don't feel like I'm picking up a ton of product to like lessen the coverage. That seemed to really help. It looks a lot better over here now. Now let's go over here and do the same. All right, I think that definitely helped it out a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I'll continue to wear this for about another 3 to 4 hours. So I'll see you guys back here at the end of the day for my final check-in. All right, I am finally back for my end of day check-in. It is currently, what time is it? It is 7:43, which means that I've had this concealer on for a good solid 8 hours. Now, before I get into what I think about this concealer after wearing it all day in 2 different ways, I'm going to zoom you guys in one last time so that you can get a good close-up look at the under eye area after a full day of wear. All right, so here we are up close and personal. As a reminder, this side has the color corrector placed underneath it, and this side did not. All right, so there it is. I'm sure you guys can guess. I personally, it's not for me. This concealer is just definitely not for me. Full coverage should not be in the name if the intention is for it to be medium to full. At least that's just, something minute that I'll throw out there. Not a huge deal, but I definitely was expecting full coverage with this. Although in the morning, it did appear to be really full coverage, especially with the color corrector placed underneath it. Now, I did set this and it still wore off. It wore off. It separated pretty heavy over here. Over here, I think I just saw some product separating like right here along the inner corner, but you know, separated nonetheless. It wore off, and it looks pretty dry, right? It looks pretty dry. I tried to get it to look a little bit more hydrated by placing the Smashbox and Becca color corrector underneath it. It is definitely a hydrating formula. And when I pair that with like my Tarte Shape Tape, or if I pair that with my Catrice One Drop Weightless, like if I pair it with any other matte concealers that I have and that I like and that are in my collection, it does really well. So for me, it does really well, at least. I know that not everybody likes that corrector for the same reasons that I love it. But anyway, even that couldn't save it underneath my eye area. Unfortunately, this concealer is just not for me. Perhaps if you don't need a whole lot of coverage, like if you just have very minimal darkness underneath the eyes, or if you're looking for a good concealer to just kind of spot conceal all over the face, perhaps this could be an option. Maybe it could be a good option. Remember though, it does have a matte finish. Okay, has a matte finish, and I would not call this full coverage, especially not on its own. It's medium to high medium at best with 2 layers, as you guys saw over here. With a color corrector, you can get more full coverage, but unfortunately, it just didn't last underneath my eyes, and for that reason, it's a no from me. So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's product review and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram, where I absolutely love to interact with you guys. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.